Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. And today is a new day, a new set. We went out and picked up our Edge of Eternities pre-order at our local game store. Today is pre-release day as I'm filming this, which does mean a couple things that are a little different from when I normally film. So typically I order my stuff online and it doesn't actually ship until release day. So my videos are normally filmed like, a week or, filmed and edited almost a week into pricing for not just pre-release but regular set pricing. So this one's going to be on pre-release pricing, and things can get real wild with pre-release pricing. So just know that going in, that the pricing that we're going to see later on is not necessarily what we're going to see in a couple weeks, or even what you're seeing when you're watching the video, because I may publish this a little bit later. Anyhow, so we did get it. We got two decks. We got both the decks. We got a play booster box and we got a collector booster box. My wife's got a play booster box. I've got this one. Probably gonna get myself a play booster box as well. I'm loving this set. So before we dive into this, and for anybody that wants to get right into opening the packs, you can skip ahead. I'm going to run through all the stuff that you can get in a play booster box and kind of run through all the stuff. So let's just dive into that, get through it real quick. So there are no serialized cards in this set, but there is a almost serialized card. It's an exclusive, unique card. So they have this card, Sothera the Super Void, which is like the main card from the set, and you see it in the background and a bunch of the arts on other cards and stuff like that. They have a special, what they call a headliner edition of it, and that one, it's a black hole basically. So that's like, again, it's not serialized. We don't know how many of them they can print or they're going to print, but it is rare. It is a unique card, individual card. There's a bonus sheet for this set, and it's called Edge of Eternities Stellar Sights. The bonus sheet has two different versions available in these collector boosters. In play boosters, there's only one version of it. The one version is going to have, and I'll probably throw it up on the screen here if I'm not lazy. There's going to be two borders on the sides, where the collector booster exclusive versions of the cards can also be a fully borderless around them. When you look them up on TCG Player, they're both listed as borderless. So it's a little confusing. Technically, the official name for the collector booster exclusive is Poster. So you have Stellar Sights lands, and then you have Poster Stellar Sights lands. They can come in non-foil, foil, and there's also Galaxy foil versions of them. That's actually the main reason I'm excited for the set is, well, the two things. I'm excited for Galaxy foils, and these cards are beautiful. And they have different arts between those poster and non-poster versions of the cards. So there's also shock lands, but it's only half of the shock lands. It's 5, and it's not the allies and stuff like that. They kind of have this real weird mix of just 5 different shock lands, random ones. Those can be available in standard frame, and they also have what they call viewport lands, which is like looking out the window on a spaceship into this new planet kind of thing. They also have a few planets that are available that are also lands. Those are also going to be available in those same viewport lands. Viewport lands can be available in non-foil, foil, and also borderless, in the Galaxy foil as well. The set does have special guests again. Final Fantasy took a break from special guests, but the set has them back. There's 10 of them, and they're beautiful. They have a sci-fi kind of look. It almost looks like old comic books or old ads for sci-fi stuff. Those can be in non-foil and foil. They're pretty rare from what I've seen. I think when it comes to a case, which is 6 of these, I think that you're only getting them in like 2 of these boxes per case. I could be wrong, but that's what I was kind of seeing before. Let's see, what else do we have? There's a buy a box card. which we got right here. Singularity, Rupture, and an extended art foil. And as far as collector boosters goes, all of them come with your lands are going to be the full art lands, but they do have in play boosters regular lands. Full arts can be in non-foil, foil, and also galaxy foils. Those galaxy foils are going to be sought after. These lands are beautiful from what I've seen, but I've not actually had one in my hands yet. And then they have borderless triumphant cards. So instead of just calling them the normal borderless cards, they call them borderless triumphant cards. Those are for some of the commander cards. They also have borderless surreal space cards, which look pretty cool as well. And you think with all that, maybe we didn't get the Japanese showcase stuff, or Japan showcase as they call it. No, we do still have Japan showcase cards. There's still 10 of those, and those can be available in just the regular foil version or in the fracture foil. Like before, they can be in English or in Japanese text. The Japanese text versions are 1 and 4. It seems like those are typically just a little bit better than 1 per box. So you should most likely see one per box. Sometimes you'll see 2. The extended art cards, all that good stuff, the normal stuff. So the other thing that's changed here is these collector boosters do have art cards now. So art cards are no longer available in the play boosters. They're only in the collector boosters, which is kind of interesting. I think the big thing for me is it kind of makes me wonder how rare they're going to be. Are they going to actually be valuable? And beyond what we saw in Final Fantasy. But anyhow, let's get into this. I want to check this stuff out, and I'm sure the people who skipped all the stuff I said before want to see it too. So let's just dive right in. As usual, collector boosters have 12 packs, and they've got a whole bunch of rares. So they did rearrange these again. The rares are back at the back from what I've seen. So let's get all these pulled out and see how we did. So for myself, to be honest with you, I don't even know what's good hits at this point. It's still so early. My main focus is going to be on the stellar sites. There's Ancient Tomb, which is the biggest hit. There's Gemstone Caverns. Wow, these things are hard to open. There we go. You can see I got an art card right there. So I'm not going to spend too much time in the comments on comments. I already know, even though I haven't really dug through these yet, I'll spend time digging through them later on. But I know that as far as the comments go, there's no hits. And right now, even at pre-release, there's only 1 or 2 comments that are like just at $1, and those will probably drop soon too. So we'll flip through these later on. These will be the stuff that I dig through, looking for some cool stuff for decks. So first things first, I got a Galaxy Foil Plains right out of the hole. Pretty cool looking. Like I've been looking forward to these forever, both for the Galaxy Foil and also just good looking lands. Synthesizer Lab Ship is a rare. Planetary Annihilation Extended Art. We got Oreo Borad. I've actually been excited for this card anyhow, and this is an extended art version of it. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put an X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the creature's power. Now imagine if you pump this thing up right before your combat, and suddenly all your stuff has a whole bunch of stuff, potentially on turn 4. Alright, so our next card is I pushed too far. Next card is a rare, and it's going to be it's our land slot. Eldrazi Temple, non-foil. And then we got Cosmic Grand Zenith, borderless card in foil. Then for our art card, we've got Planet Being Destroyed, which is one of the new lands. It's Kavarian Memorial World. Next pack. these are a little bit harder than open than the last set of collector boxes I've had. All right, so we got a foil. We have a foil swamp, and then we have the Sarima in foil. So this is the new spacecraft. And if you don't know how these work, whatever these numbers are, it's kind of like crewing, but you build it up over time. So like you could tap a 1 power creature 7 times to build this thing up eventually. And then when you do, you get this ability right here. Euthos Research Craft, another spacecraft. Hardline Containment, extended art. And then we got Sunken Citadel, and this is not a foil, but you see that this is that poster art. So it's got the full border. And then we got Devastating Onslaught. This is our Japan showcase. We did get it in English. And we got a token for the last one. This is a lander token. It's going to come in handy. There's a lot of cards that do lander tokens. This is a Galaxy Foil Island. You can barely see it there. See if I can show it better. There we go. Sorry, actually, no, it isn't a Galaxy Foil. It's just I was seeing the sparkles from here. Just a standard foil. We got the Star Winder for a rare. Radiant Summit. So this is a new set of lands that are getting in, or not a whole new set, but it's finishing up some a set of lands that hadn't been finished previously. Our next card is a Sunstar Chaplain, and then we have a Celestial Colonnade in foil, and we got Zoo Lisfit, Osteoharmonicist. An interesting name, another lander token. Got a foil mountain this time. And we got a Sacred Foundry. This is our first shock land. This is a foil. Solar Array extended art. Weapons manufacturing. And then borderless, what was that treatment? This is what they call the surreal space cards. This is pretty cool. Looks like a secret lair. Next up, we have a terrain generator, non-foil. I'm surprised at how many non-foils I've gotten to these, to be honest. And then we got loading zone, extended art, and foil. And then an art card, Galactic Wayfarer. Nothing too crazy for hits so far that I've seen. I mean, again, we don't really know what all is going to be the big hits for the set just yet. We're so early. But at least on that Stellar Sights sheet, we haven't hit any big hits that I've seen there. The one exception to that is that the Omnivorous or whatever. That's a card that I was looking forward to. I don't know that it's going to be a big hit, but got a Plains foil, Sunset Saboteur, Depth Shaker Titan, Moonlit Meditation, Raging Ravine, and non-foil. And then we got a Sacred Foundry foil in the Viewfinder Viewport lands. And to be honest with you, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of this. It's kind of like with Tarkir, where you had those cards that had a lot of black. This feels the same way. And you have this really cool art in the background, and I just wish we could see even more of it. You know, I wish if we're going full borderless like that, I want to see it all the way down through here. But that said, Sacred Foundry, not complaining. That's a good hit. It's not a Galaxy foil, but all right. This will be our 6th pack. So at the end of this, we'll be halfway through. If I ever get it opened, there we go. Alright, that is a Galaxy Foil Swamp there. You can see that, pretty good. Great looking card. Pinnacle Emissary. They're sticking together there. Kilo Apogee Mind. Helia Guided by the Light. Guided by Light. And then we got a Plaza of Heroes as a Mythic. Again, non-foil. Really surprised at the amount of non-foils. I'm wondering if we're not going to do better on the second half when it comes to that. Another weapons manufacturing, but this time in foil. And then we have an art card with the Petrified Field. All right, move these over a little bit. Take a little bit more space. We'll dive into the second half of the box. Foil Mountain. Let's save this up. Let's fix this. There we go. Foil Mountain. Cosmic Grand Zenith. Hearth Hall, the World Seed. They're sticking together. These non-foils are grippy. Lumen Class Frigate. Mystifying Maze, again, a non-foil in our Stellar Sights. And we got a Dawnshire Sunstar Dreadnought. This thing's pretty crazy. When it attacks, it deals 100 damage to one target creature or planeswalker. And that's the extended art in foil. And we got the token. Got another foil swamp. Might Form Harmonizer. Evindo Brush Razor. Pinnacle Emissary. Bonder's Enclave, another non-foil. It's crazy. And then we got Raggost, Deft Gastronaut. A Lobster Citizen, and then we got a signed on art card, and I think it's Mana Confluence, right? No, Cascading Cataract. All right. So got that sliver token there. So we got a foil forest, extinguisher battleship, we got a vernal fin. That's another one of those new land reprints. Might Form Harmonizer, and then for our Stellar Sights, we got a mythic. It's an Inventor's Fair, non-foil. Consult the Star Charts, extended art foil, and a robot token with the sliver on the back. really surprised at how hard these are to open. Got another swamp with the galaxy foil. There, see it? Lightstall Inquisitor foil. Horizon Explorer, and then we finally got a galaxy foil from the looks of it for our. It went a little too fast. Beyond the Quests. This is a really cool art. This is the new Sunfall, basically. And then we got an Echoing Deeps in the galaxy foil. So we at least did get a galaxy foil in there. And we got a Paradox Haze, and this is the new special guest treatment. Good to see. I do collect all those special guests. And those seem to be pretty cool, and they're pretty popular. So they're going to be pretty hard to get. So we still haven't really got a big hit out of that Stellar Sights, which is what I was hoping to get, but... I'm also surprised that the galaxy foils didn't make it into other cards, you know? You have some of these cool uncommons, and there's extended art and borderless cards and stuff. The galaxy foils would have been a nice treatment to see. Infinity, they did that. You had non-foil foiled and then galaxy foiled. So we got a foil plains, a watery grave, so we got a shockland, foil one. Imidin Wastemaker extended art. Requiem Monolith extended art. Needle Spires. This is not a galaxy foil, but it is foil. This is one of the new lands. And we got a Pinnacle Emissary extended art. Celestial Colonnade. And for our last pack, I suspect we need a big hit here to be able to do well for this box. I think this box was kind of a dead horse, but we'll see. Maybe if it's harder to get open, it'll be better. There we go. But so far they've been hard to get open, not necessarily better. But, you know, we don't know what all is going to be the hits yet, so... We got a mess over here, so I knocked everything over. We got a foil island. We got a space-time anomaly. Insight engine. Extended art. Frenzied Baloth. Crystal Quarry in a poster, but it's non-foil. So that means we didn't get any of the poster cards in a foil at all. That's crazy. We really did not do well there. Pinnacle Star Cage, extended art, and then a lander token. All right, I'm gonna get everything scanned in, and we'll be back. See how we did. Okay, we're back. Got everything scanned in, sleeved up, and whatnot. I said at the beginning of the video, this is kind of a weird one because I'm recording all this pretty much right after pre-release, and we're just at the beginning of pre-release prices. And pre-release prices, even for the whole week of pre-release up until the launch, they're pretty crazy in the first place, but they're even crazier when we start. So my prices are all over the place. So yeah, so when I scanned everything in initially. This is Friday night, basically, after pre-release night, the first night of it. A majority of the stuff that I scanned in just came up with a blank price and stuff, which there are prices on TCG Player, but Mana Box was a little behind on updating that. So the total price of $1 or more stuff at that time was $167, which isn't right. But after everything updated today, this Saturday, Now the total box price, which because we don't have a dollar or more, there's no way to see that anymore. The total box price is up to 605, which is also not right. And I know that because there's a couple of things, like one of the main cards, and pull up the right screen here. One of the most expensive cards that's shown me is $144, and I know that card on TCG Player does have a market price of $144, but it's actually selling for $160. So that shows you just how far off our numbers are here. So keep that in mind. Numbers here are, they're not all that accurate. So we'll kind of run through everything real quick. As far as the uncommons, commons, pretty small stacks. Collector booster box. Commons is a little bit thicker than the uncommons, but not very much of either one of them, to be honest. And then most of our rares, almost all of our rares, in fact, are in the pile that's over $2 right now because of the pricing being kind of funky. So literally, if we take out all these rares, which are from the Stellar Sites, these other four that are still showing under $2, we've only got 5-6 cards that are not showing over $2. So we know that a lot of those are going to drop in price. It's just a matter of time. And speaking of, by the way, I noticed that there's a lot of Pringling going on, which we don't normally have Pringling at all, even with foils. But these get Pringling in the non-foils even. And it's like kind of a Pringle where both directions they're Pringling. So the side is Pringling in, and then the top is Pringling in. It makes it give it that like tin can sound when you mess with them. So hopefully that works its way out of the cards. We'll see though. I don't know. It's interesting. If you didn't see when I was opening this stuff up, these lands look amazing. And I didn't scan these in for value, but these Galaxy foil ones are going to hold some value later on. These are going to be kind of like the Dragon Eyes from Tarkir, where they're going to hold value. They're going to be part of what keeps the value of these boxes up. These and a lot of these Stellar Sites cards are going to hold the value for these things. And of course, we did get art cards for the first time in collector boosters. Out of our 12 packs, we got 5. Not really sure what that's going to mean long term, but one of those has got a signature. The rest don't. I do suspect though, kind of like with Final Fantasy having a lot of demand in the art cards and some of at least the signed ones holding value. But these things not being in very many boxes, collector booster boxes, art cards are probably going to go up in value. But it's just kind of a weird one because maybe it's just me, but I think that people that are buying collector boosters aren't necessarily the type of people that are after art cards most of the time. The people that are buying those, they want the fancy cards and whatnot. The art cards are kind of I see a lot of people that are like, well, I can't afford to get a bunch of the cool cards, and so they go for the art cards. And so it's kind of weird that they move the art cards into the boxes that are, those same people are not going to be necessarily buying. And then, of course, we do have a stack of tokens. A whole bunch of them are landers. We do get a bird token in there. That might come in handy in my bird decks. And these also have that Pringle effect going on, too. Anyhow, when it comes to the big stuff, look at the size of the stack. This is all the stuff that currently is over $2. It's not going to stay that high up. All these are going to drop down. A few of these will stay up there. It's just going to be a few weeks before we really know. So I'm just going to skip most of these. I'm going to go to the $5 and more, and we'll just run through that stuff. So what we're looking for is Hearthshaw. Skip all the stuff that's under $5. All that's under $5 currently. This Hearth Hall is going to be $5.18. Extinguisher Battleship in foil was $5.27. Drowsy Temple non-foil is $5.27. Then we have the Inventor's Fair non-foil. It's $5.71. Celestial Colonnade looks really cool. In foil, that's $5.79. Pinnacle Emissary. I pulled a bunch of these, by the way. I've got 3 of them. This one's $6.05. This foil weapons manufacturing, the borderless It looks pretty cool. It's a 621. The foil extended art pinnacle emissary is 629. Might form harmonizer and foil is 689. Then we have Pinnacle Star Cage, sorry, at 702 for the extended art foil. Synthesizer Lab Ship at 730 for the foil. Loading Zone 779 for the foil extended art. That original Pinnacle Emissary non-extended art, but in foil is more for some reason, $2 more at 805. Space Time Anomaly in foil is 811. Our first Shockland here is Watery Grave in foil at 911. I feel like that might actually go up in price. That's pretty cheap for Shockland. Moonlit Meditation extended art. This is at 1009. This is a cool card, by the way. Definitely going to be a really popular card in those synthesizer decks. It's going to be cloning artifacts left and right. Consult the Stars. Oh, I don't know where this one came from. That's not on my list right now. I don't know. That might be later on. Frenzied Baluth extended art is 1092. Sacred Foundry foil is 1224. The Echoing Deeps with the Galaxy foil is 1622. Cosmic Grand Zenith in foil is 1696. This Paradox Haze special guest is 2247. Then we get our first Through the Looking Glass foil Sacred Foundry at 2334. This Dawnspire Sunstar Dreadnought. It's like a tongue twister. Extended art foil is 2456. This Cosmic Grand Zenith with the borderless, which looks amazing in the foil, is 2659. The Oreo Boread extended art is 3387. Ragos Depth Gastronaut borderless foil is 3841, and then Devastating Onslaught from the Japan Showcase in the English is showing up at 144. We already know that this is at least currently in the $60 range. Probably going to be lower than that too. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see later on how these turn out. But we do have some more. So our next video, we're going to dive in. We'll check out the play boosters and see how they do with my wife's play booster box. So we'll see you then. This is Binder Miner. As always, thanks for watching. To put us in your binder, like and subscribe. Ring the bell to be notified. You can also catch us on our social media, which is down in the description below. Till then, have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye.